This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Friday, February 24th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. A new report from the American Hotel and Lodging Association and Oxford Economics projects increases in state and local tax revenue generated by hotels nationally and Indiana. However, challenges remain in terms of staffing and hotel occupancy compared to before the pandemic.
A lot of our quality, mid-level, career management, you name it, and up, really transferred a lot of very transferable skills to other industries during the pandemic.
Indiana Restaurant and Lodging Association CEO Patrick Tam said reaching out to high school and college students about the potential career opportunities is an important step to building the workforce back up. Indiana University Health said Thursday the pandemic continued to batter it last year, sharply increasing the cost of wages and cutting operating income nearly 25%. IU Health said it responded to its highest patient demand ever, driven by surges in COVID-19 cases, high counts of critically ill patients, and the need to perform surgeries and other procedures delayed in the pandemic. The IU Health system includes 16 hospitals and more than 300 physician offices, surgical centers, and other care facilities throughout the state. Indiana University has selected Jason Dudich, Indiana's former state budget director, as Associate Vice President for Fiscal and Economic Strategy. He most recently served as VP for Finance Administration and Treasurer at the University of Indianapolis. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Has your company grown at a rapid pace over the last 2 years? Nominations are now being accepted for Fast 25, IBJ's exclusive list of fastest growing companies in Central Indiana. Honorees will be spotlighted in a special publication in the IBJ and celebrated at an event on May 9th. Check out the changes to this year's criteria to see if your company qualifies. Learn more and submit your nomination by March 1st at ibj.com/nominations.
Indiana business and community leaders, you're invited to a roadshow unlike any other. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation are joining forces for the Engage Indiana series, presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. A focus on talent, education, and issues that shape our economy. 7 regional events, 1 shared purpose, advancing the future of Indiana. Discover more at ibj.com/engage.
Indiana Republicans passed their $43.3 billion budget proposal without any Democratic support, with the minority party denouncing the millions earmarked to expand school vouchers.
48% of the budget goes to K-12 education, which will get a boost of nearly $2 billion over its current appropriation, of which 1/3 will go to vouchers. Democrats denounced the budget for taking away funding from traditional public schools. Under the new proposal, families making up to 400% of the federal poverty level, roughly $220,000, qualify for vouchers. Democratic Representative Ed Delaney of Indianapolis says the legislature has turned vouchers into an entitlement program. Republicans say it was a matter of school choice and giving more power to parents who wish to control their children's education. But Republican caucus leaders appear to disagree about the approach to tax cuts and tying them to revenue outcomes. The two chambers reached an agreement last session to cut Indiana's income tax rate from 3.23% to 2.9% over 7 years, only if revenue growth continues and an extra $1 billion was appropriated to pay down pension debt. Senator Ryan Mishler, who chairs the Senate Appropriations Committee, says senators were disappointed by the House's $250 million additional contribution to the pre-1996 Teacher Retirement Fund, the state's only unfunded pension obligation. Previous discussions had that number at $1 billion. The budget advanced on a 66-29 vote and advances to the Senate for further consideration. Wes Mills, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Forbes has released its annual list of best mid-size employers, and 7 Indiana businesses and institutions made the cut. The publication ranked 500 firms based on a survey of about 45,000 American workers at companies and institutions with 1,000 to 5,000 U.S.-based employees. The Indiana representatives on the list include Vera Bradley in Fort Wayne, Reed Health in Richmond, First Source Bank in South Bend, Ball State University in Muncie, Old National Bank in Evansville, Alverno Laboratories in Hammond, and Kimball International in Jasper. The CEO of Evansville-based ag bioscience startup Anew says a recently awarded $1 million grant from the National Science Foundation will allow the company to continue research and develop a new way to sustainably grow produce in your own kitchen. Scott Massey says Anew's device, about the size of a dishwasher, features a mechanical design and control algorithm that helps produce higher yields of produce without users needing to add fertilizer manually.
The user simply puts a pod in and harvests a plant out with no added step in between. And that's something that's profoundly unique and intuitive and so simple that even children do it oftentimes with a lot of our household users.
He calls the funding strategic validation for the company and says it will allow it to not only create more jobs in Indiana, but push the frontier of cutting-edge industries like artificial intelligence. Congressman Andre Carson is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.